Anjalee Swamy from Bharat. Your name, please?
Vibha.
Vibha. So, Vibha, can you tell me what part of the movie stood out to you the most and why?
It stood out the most when they told us that people led movements to bring the Dalit caste into the temples. Like, they showed that there was no discrimination among the temple community and anybody could enter the temples and worship the Lord. And it just really stood out to me that there was no discrimination regardless of who you were and how much money you had, whether you were Jain or Sikh or Muslim. It just stood out that anybody could go in and be themselves, and yeah.
Thank you so much. What is your name, first of all?
Aryan.
Aryan, how did this movie make you feel, and what did you learn about the actual reality of caste system in India?
This movie made me feel good that there's like no discrimination in India, and I learned about the caste system and like all the temple systems and what they do in India in temples.
Thank you so much. Great. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Ojas Bapat, and I go to Valley Academy and I'm in 6th grade.
So after watching this movie, how do you think you can make a change in the society? Well, so let me put it this way. How do you think your perception has changed about what you knew about caste?
I never thought there were so many temples that actually did not have caste discrimination, because I actually thought before that there was a lot of caste discrimination.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Shriman.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
So Shriman, can you tell me, how do you think young people like you can make a difference after watching this movie regarding the true meaning of caste?
Like how it made a difference. So basically, so after watching the movie and like the questions and answers from like the director, it made me like feel more skeptical about like what's in social media and whether it's like half truth or like the complete truth.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
Namaste. My name is Bismay. I'm a current senior in high school.
So Bismay, what part of the movie Caste Rush stood out for you and why?
Sorry, could you repeat that one?
What part of the movie Caste Rush stood out most for you? Which part of the movie Caste Rush stood out most for you and why?
I think it'd be pretty hard to say specifically what part stood out the most, but definitely the intro and the conclusion. So most of the movie was about how the caste system, quote unquote, is how it's being interpreted in India and how it actually is in India. But the intro and conclusion really stood out to me because at the end of the day, it's about the audience and how it relates back to the audience, and in my case, me. And so knowing that this is how our quote unquote caste system is in India, and then relating it back to what's going on in the country around me, in my own country, was really interesting to do.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Anushka Sharma and I'm in 11th grade.
So Anushka, which part of the movie stood out for you?
I found
why?
I found the part where they had the bulls and they released them, and I found that very interesting because in Latina culture there's also a thing where they let bulls out and they have the games, and I thought like how each culture is like kind of all synced and related, and that everything's unique and also like bonded together no matter how far away they are.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Ramirez, and I'm the Vice Chair for the Human Relations Commission for the Syria Channel.
So, could you please tell us what part of the movie stood out to you the most and why?
Very interesting. A lot of people thinking I'm an Indian, but I'm not. I'm a Latina. So for me to come to see this movie, I learned so much from India, and I learned how rich is the different cultures and the different, religions they have it.
Hi, I'm Kavya. I'm in 9th grade.
So, can you tell me, Kavya, what part of the movie stood out to you the most and why?
To me, the most thing that stood out was like how they traveled to each place, and they each said that they can come to the temple no matter where what caste you're from, and I think that's the most moving, because in modern times they really talked about how it's rejected, but in the movie they showed how it isn't.
I think it was Visney, I may be wrong, but can you elaborate a little bit more on what really is the Varna and the Jati system and how that works in India? Thank you.
No, I could. Is it relevant? No, I will answer that question. But we are very passionate as Indians to say that, actually caste system is a British construct, and actually our sense is Varna, and Varna is all good, and it's based on who does what and all of those things, and they're all correct. They're all factually correct. But what happens is, in the broader context of the world, you are not going to read Varna in your child's textbook of California or in the US or even in India. You're not going to read about it for the next 50 years. So the first thing is to talk to ourselves, our children, about the existing reality of India 2025 in terms of caste, to understand that it is a gravy train that keeps a lot of unemployable people employed, and they get employed by playing on your identity. So understand the political reality of this entire freeloading culture that happens on identity everywhere, unfortunately also amongst Indians and Indian Americans. And then the academic aspect of which Granth said what about caste and which Granth said what about Varna can be had in a private time. But this is a fight you are going to fight on the public square. Whether you want to, whether you realize it or not, you are going to be a part of it. So that's the bigger question.
All right, thank you so much.